but it's still the same content and the same information you guys need to wake up this morning.
Yeah, we have our engineers diligently working through those challenges as we speak. We did a little Facebook Live to alert you a little bit earlier this morning. Here's the good news. The weather not too crazy out there as you get ready to get up and at 'em. I do want to issue my own humidity alert. What did we call that? A frizz alert this morning?
Frizz, the frizz watch has become a frizz warning for sure. Absolutely, yeah. The humidity, it's up. The temperatures are also up as a result of the humidity. So we're looking to be a little bit warmer to start this morning as we take a look at the temperatures here across the area. We got 50s across much of the area, including Winona, Lindale, Tyler, all at 55 degrees. Gladewater also at 55 degrees. We also have Diana at 48 degrees. As we continue to move further to the south, we got some 40s starting to pop up here. 45 in Nacogdoches and 45 for Garrison. Also 53 in Rusk. So kind of a mixture of 40s and 50s, but no 30s on the board this morning. So temperatures are a little bit warmer to start today, and they'll be a little bit warmer as we continue into the rest of today. We'll see temperatures in the low to mid 70s. I think we'll have a shot for the 80-degree mark for today across much of the area. And we'll also have a couple of clouds that we're going to be watching for as well. Because of that higher humidity, we'll have a little bit more cloud cover. It's not going to be all that much. Not expecting any rain, of course, with any of these clouds, but we'll have that southwest wind holding on at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, bringing up both that heat and that humidity. So we'll see a little bit of clouds for a change. And then the cloud cover actually builds even more into the next several days. We also have, again, those temperatures in the low 80s. That's about 10 degrees above average. We're going to continue to watch some of those clouds build. A small chance of rain with Thursday and Friday, but most everybody will be staying dry. There will be a big change in our weather coming up this weekend, and we'll take a look at it in your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Joel. Well, the NTSB is headed to Louisville, Kentucky, where a UPS plane crashed shortly after takeoff, leaving a fiery trail of destruction through businesses and roads. You're looking at it right now. According to an official at the airport, at least 7 people are dead and 11 others are injured. Authorities say 3 crew members were on board at the time. The flight was taking off from the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, bound for Hawaii. Hundreds of firefighters worked to contain the blaze, which was spread over a large area. Kentucky's governor confirmed there were 38,000 gallons of fuel on board at the time. Now, it's unclear why the UPS cargo plane went down. The airport is expected to reopen sometime today. Well, after 2 days without classes, all Jacksonville ISD campuses are back open this morning. The district canceled those classes, you may recall, because of the statewide manhunt for the man accused of shooting a Jacksonville police officer and their canine. That is still ongoing this morning.
That is right. And yesterday, officials gave us a very brief update on this investigation. They didn't take any questions and offered little information. Take a good look at your screen. Again, this is Bobby Dennis. Police say he shot an officer and injured a canine Sunday night. Both are expected to be okay. Police say he's considered armed and dangerous with a lengthy criminal past. The 64-year-old, last seen wearing all black clothing and may have been driving a 2000 grade GMC Sierra with Texas license plates TRW 3919. Now, the reward for information leading to his arrest is now at $21,000. Now, Dennis is wanted by multiple law enforcement for 2 warrants. A police officer was shot while approaching his property. She took cover behind her patrol car as Dennis fired multiple rounds, some hitting the vehicle where her canine partner was secured. Now, she ran into the wooded area for more cover and called for help. And the police chief there said that this man is, quote, evil and has a willingness to endanger an officer and canine in surrounding neighborhoods in a complete disregard for human life. That is what part of he said in that press conference yesterday. Yeah,
we looked into Bobby Dennis's criminal history as well, which stretches back in Cherokee County to 2003. His arrests include multiple DWIs, assault charges, theft, and weapons violations. Most recently in June, he was arrested for theft of a firearm, drug possession, and several traffic violations. Over the years, he served multiple jail terms ranging from weeks to over a month, and authorities say he remains a wanted fugitive. Again, Jacksonville ISD campuses will reopen in about 2 hours this morning. The district said in part, quote, the safety and well-being of our students and staff remains our highest priority, end quote. All right, we did have big news overnight out of Nacogdoches County when it comes to voting across Texas and the country last night. Voters in Nacogdoches County have approved a $75 million bond to build a new county jail.
That is a major investment that county leaders say will improve safety, expand capacity, and save taxpayers money in the long run. CBS 19's Ayana Aird has the latest on what comes next after this.
Good morning. After years of planning and debate, Nacogdoches County voters have given the green light to a $75 million bond to replace the county's aging jail. Sheriff Jason Bridges says this is about safety, efficiency, and getting ahead of rising costs. The new facility will nearly double capacity, expanding from about 300 beds to roughly 570, and it'll include medical and mental health units. Bridges says the current jail, built more than 35 years ago, is overcrowded and outdated. The county spends more than $1.5 million a year housing inmates outside its jurisdiction.
It's a safe environment for all. It doesn't tie our hands nearly as much for patrol officers on the street. We'll be able to accept more things, and it's just a better environment for everybody.
County officials say construction could begin once designs are finalized and bonds are sold, likely sometime in 2026. The new facility is expected to be built with long-term growth and safety in mind. Now, Sheriff Bridges also says the project has been years in the making, and with voter approval now in hand, the focus shifts to the next steps in design and funding. Reporting in studio, I'm Ayana Aird. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Ayana. Well, Diboll ISD voters approved a $12 million bond. Superintendent Dr. Igor, Dr. G, they call him, Gusikov, called it a Goldilocks proposal, one designed to meet campus needs without a big hit to local taxpayers. Now, taking a look at those results right now, they did vote in favor of that proposal. And here's what they had to say. There are some immediate needs, they said, that will need to be taken care of, but would want to push the district vision and know that as far as instruction goes, into the next century, right now the 21st, down to the 21st century, but also they needed to address facilities according to those expectations. That was according to district leaders. The Diboll bond will renovate the junior high's band hall and library, repair walkways, and upgrade safety and HVAC systems district-wide. Now over to ARP ISD, district leaders pushed for a $9.9 million bond, and that was split into two propositions, one that was focusing on classroom expansion and safety, and the other on a new multi-purpose facility that could serve both students and the community. And Proposition A passes in ARP. That was 54% to 46%. Now, when it comes to Proposition B, this one did not pass. 59% of voters were against that proposition, 41% voted for. Statewide, Texans voted on 17 amendments to the state's constitution, all of which passed. Whether you voted or not, these decisions affect everyone from homeowners to businesses and families. And our Jesus Martinez has been looking over all of these numbers this morning. So what stood out to you, Jesus?
Yeah, so Dana, the one thing that stood out to me is that obviously all 17 amendments passed. Last time Texas had amendments on the ballot was back in 2023. All but one passed. Now this year, the one that'll affect all of us from now into the future is Proposition 4, and it has to do with the water and the state's growing population. So take a look. Up to $1 billion of sales tax revenues will be allocated into the Texas waterfronts each year starting in 2027. This would be used to fix infrastructure, develop new water sources, and support conservation efforts to help meet the state's increasing water demand. Something to note as well, this will not increase your sales tax rate. It simply earmarks a portion of the revenue for water infrastructure. State Representative Cody Harris thanked voters overnight for taking this first step in the state's water conservation and infrastructure plan. He said in part, quote, "Water is non-negotiable, and I'm so grateful that you saw and understood the importance of this vote. I promise to keep up the fight for East Texas water and for the greatness of our state," end quote. Now, with the population blooming and infrastructure getting older, demand is quickly outpacing supply, and officials warn that by 2030, if there's a major drought, municipal water systems in Texas could struggle to meet that demand. A big reason why lawmakers, Dana, wanted to set aside some money for this.
Yeah, we'll talk more about those propositions, the other ones coming up a little bit later. It's now time for your morning headlines. The federal government shutdown is now the longest in U.S. history. A source familiar with the plans tells CBS News that Senate Republicans have been invited to the White House for a breakfast meeting with President Trump today. The president has been pushing the Senate GOP to support abolishing the filibuster to make it easier to pass legislation and reopen the government. Chrysler is recalling more than 320,000 4xe model Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees because this plug-in hybrid SUV's high-voltage batteries could fail and potentially cause a fire while parked or moving. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is warning drivers to park impacted vehicles outside and away from any structures and to not charge them until they're repaired. The company says a fix will be available soon. And get this, Coca-Cola is rolling out a special treat for the holidays. It is called Coca-Cola Holiday Creamy Vanilla. I want to try this one. It is the first limited edition holiday flavor for Coca-Cola in 5 years. The company says the drink is infused with, quote, smooth, creamy vanilla flavors that capture the joy of the season. The limited time drink is available at stores nationwide in full and zero sugar versions. I got a from Jesus.
Right? I wonder if it's going to taste like a cream soda, maybe?
Maybe you're like a little creamier than a vanilla Coke is what I was thinking. So maybe a combo. We're talking cream soda, vanilla, Coca-Cola.
It sounds good regardless.
Sounds good to me.
I'll
For
try
sure.
it.
Oh, man.
I was thinking, when can I get one after the newscast?
Right? Let's
Right.
do it. Who needs coffee in the morning? Let's get some caffeine.
Exactly.
A different kind.
I need both. I need both to get through the morning. But it's not too bad as you get ready to head out. Kind of smooth sailing out there, hopefully.
Absolutely, yeah. If you're planning on maybe getting one of those, I think you're going to be in really great shape, especially when it comes to I-20. We got 2 hours over to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport, so looking A-OK on the I-20 side of things. US 69 doing just fine as well. 2.5 hours up to Denison and an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin, so smooth sailing there. Some of the other routes still pretty quiet at the moment. We got 50 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, Tyler to Longview. That's a 40-minute commute for you this morning. 50 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and also 40 minutes from Tyler to Athens. Nice and clear conditions on our CBS19 live radar. Not expecting anything in the way of rainfall. However, as we take a look at the surface, this is going to be a totally different story here. Especially over deep East Texas. Look at Nacogdoches and Lufkin's visibility down to 1 3/4 miles of visibility and 3 3/4 mile visibilities in Carthage. So very dense fog is kind of lingering here and there. So I'm giving you yellow lights all the way through 9 o'clock this morning. Temperature starting off on the warmer side in the 50s. And we will make a break for the 80s this afternoon with a couple of clouds, but otherwise dry conditions.
All right, be careful out there. Well, a free program in East Texas is helping first-time moms get the support they need from pregnancy through their child's second birthday. In this morning's Wellness Wednesday, we'll show you how local nurses are making a life-changing difference and how you can get involved.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports. It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
Morning, y'all. Dan Millay with your sports here. Appreciate you joining us. The final week of the regular season brings with it some high stakes. Playoff appearances on the line, seeding battles in the balance. But out in Frankston, they've had their division on lock for a while. Instead, this Friday, the Indians are chasing history.
I think it'll be a big deal. They've never been in this position before. This is uncharted water for Frankston. We've told them as we've gone, it's hard to go 10-0. It doesn't matter who you're playing or anything. You've got to have everything fall into place. And so far, they've done a real good job to make us 9-0.
One game from history. The Frankston football program has existed since 1928, nearly 100 years, but they're in the midst of their most successful season to date. Sitting at 9-0, the Indians can complete their first ever perfect regular season here in Week 11.
As far as just the thought of possibly getting a chance to go 10-0, it's a big deal, and the kids are buying into it. Our community's buying into it, and it's fun to watch.
And this team is easy to buy into. Coach Gould says he's got 13 seniors on this roster, the most he's ever had as head coach. With that experience has come a level of dedication that you just can't teach.
We're all selfless, we all play for each other. We don't all want to be the star. We just all do our part, and we get it done.
Where that relentlessness shines most is on the defensive side, where the Indians have held their opponents to barely over 13 points per game. Coach Gould says the guys take it upon themselves to go that extra mile.
You don't have to coach the kids to be intense. You don't have to coach them to run to the football. That's something they take pride in. If you want a chance to win a championship, you've got to play good defense, and they really took that to heart. It's been real special to watch that on Friday night.
What makes it all even more special, in his 8th year at the helm, Coach Gould has really built a culture of togetherness. Before Gould took over in 2019, the Indians had cycled through 5 head coaches in 5 years, but this is officially his program and his team trying to make history.
We had a team dinner last night. We don't need to do that. We haven't done that since I've been in high school, but this year we've made sure we've stuck together. We've all been there for each other, and we're definitely family.
A family looking to rewrite the Frankston football record books after amassing just 8 playoff wins in almost a century. This Indians team has a legitimate chance not only to complete a perfect regular season, but who's to say they can't add 6 more playoff wins to their all-time ledger, and maybe even a state championship too. Looking forward to seeing how Frankston finishes the season, but let's talk about our final game of the week of the regular season. Van hosting Pleasant Grove with a district title on the line. The Hawks are 4-0 in district play. Vandals right behind them at 3-1. So a win would tie them record-wise and, of course, give Van that head-to-head matchup advantage. This is what it's all about, folks. Week 11, a showdown on the horizon at Van Memorial. For our site game, you voted, we listened. Jimmy Searfoss and I are bringing the final Under the Lights kickoff show to Jack V. Murphy Stadium for Gladewater hosting White Oak. The Bears have their district championship locked up, but we're excited to head to Gladewater and talk more about this exciting bounce-back Bears team taking on the Roughnecks. Catch us there Friday night at 6:30. Before both those matchups, though, of course, we've got our last Thursday night live stream game of the season, an exciting 4A matchup. Maybank hosting Kilgore, with the Bulldogs looking to go undefeated 6-0 in the District of Doom. Panthers, meanwhile, just hoping to end their season on a positive note. Join Jimmy and over on CBS 19 Plus on Thursday night. Kickoff for that game is at 7:30. And switching from football to hoops, TJC men's basketball hosting Southwestern Christian College last night. And how about the Tyler High product? Jay Schwab Brown gets the block on the defensive end. Then after an offensive rebound, the freshman cans the 3 from the right wing. Later on, it's Xander Frazier hitting Chris Uweyo Jr., who stops, pops, and shoots from around the free throw line. Sinks the jumper. Then Caden Bell comes flying in from the baseline, finishing the layup through contact. Apache's still going to work. Check out the skip pass from Uweyo Jr. to Ryan Mapoli. Right in the shooter's pocket. Mapoli drains the corner tray ball. On the Rams side of things, a familiar face in Ja'Cory Bradley, fresh off his state championship with Tatum, picking up the assist. Finally, TJC takes to the skies. First, Farid Alim gets his hand in the passing lane, throws down the 2-hand flush on the other end. Then Mapoli says, anything you can do, I can do better. Throws down the 1-hand slam after the steal. Apache's led at 19-14 at this point, but they end up falling in overtime to the Rams, 80-79. That's all the time we have for sports. Morning, y'all. Back to y'all.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get into your weather forecast for today. We are tracking our next cold front. It's a big cold front coming in this weekend. In the meantime, we're expecting temperatures still to be well above average. Let's take a look at what we have in store for the next several days. So high pressure still remains in control over our weather pattern here for the next several days. That's going to be basically what we're going to be seeing as far as the weather pattern over the next few days. We'll see dry, sunny conditions, and of course those warm conditions coming in as well. And then by the time we get to Saturday, here comes some cold Canadian air moving in. We got temperatures possibly reaching the upper 50s for highs on Monday. We'll take a look at that 7-day in just a second, but this cold front makes its way down, becomes stationary, has a little bit of trouble making its way down, but it'll eventually slide its way down as a cold front into East Texas, and we'll see a big drop in those temperatures come this weekend. Now, in the meantime, the next 6 to 10 days, November 11th through November 15th, this is right around the time the cold front passes through. We'll heat up to around average for this time of year, which by next week it'll be around 69 to 71 degrees, right around there. Still expecting above average temperatures to the west and some below average temperatures to the east. This is going to be due to a huge trough-like pattern that's going to be moving through with some very cold air. And on top of that, still not expecting any amount of rain here. Below average rainfall very likely across the southern parts of the country here as the dry air continues to kind of just linger here and there. Temperatures this morning starting off a little bit warmer, 40s and 50s this time around instead of some of the 30s that we've seen over the past few days. 80s for today. Lots of us getting in on the 80s. Going to be definitely a warmer day out there, plus a little bit more humid. Not quite to summer-like levels, but it'll be a little bit more humid for us out there. For the start of your Thursday, upper 50s, even some lower 60s. That south wind holding on. We got some more moisture coming in, and of course that warmer air sticking around as well. We'll have another chance to see some 80s for Thursday as well, and possibly into your Friday included as well. 60s to start your Friday, and then we'll be again making a run for the low to mid 80s as a wind comes in from the southwest. We'll see some more hotter temperatures into this weekend until, again, that cold front moves in. Saturday into Sunday, highs on Sunday near 63, 59 for Monday, and then we do increase back into the upper 70s by the end of next week. Now, for this afternoon, we are expecting 5 to 10 mile an hour winds out of the south, which is going to drive up our humidity a little bit. Our dew points going to be up just a little bit. We'll be up into the upper 50s. I think we'll have a shot to see some 60-degree dew points as we head into the next several days. Comfortable levels all the way through. Snow possible to the north because of this trough of low pressure. Of course, we're watching for those cooler temperatures as well, just from that trough. Not expecting any snow here, but certainly some cooler temperatures for the end of your 7-day forecast.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. 6:19 this morning. Let's get back to our water cooler question this morning. We talked about it on our Facebook Live, but now we're bringing it to you on air. 7%. It's a small percentage of people say they've tried this and failed miserably. I'm going to say baking.
Baking? Okay.
It is very meticulous, like a science experiment.
It's different than cooking.
It is very different from cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say making the Thanksgiving meal all by themselves.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
But anyways.
doing all of that, yeah. Just kind of umbrelling, is that even a word? Umbrelling?
Umbrelling.
It is today.
Just cooking in general.
It has to do with weather. You can make up words.
That's, yeah.
Donnie says, I like what
Exactly.
Donnie says. He says driving a stick shift. It's been a few years for me, but I think I could pick right back up and do it.
Never done that, and I do not want to.
I mean, if you're not good at it, kind of the drive goes
jerks,
like this.
Yeah. Jason says whistling, I like that, or water skiing. Shannon says she failed miserably at water skiing.
Oh, it's hard.
I've never done it, but it looks very hard. And then making gravy is what Sarah is saying, and roller skating.
A lot of people also saying their diet.
Mm-hmm. Weight loss.
Hard. All right, just by participating in this week's water cooler question, you'll be entered to win our weekly prize. Here it is for you: a 3-gallon water dispenser with 30 free days. Refills are 30 free refills from H2Go Solutions. All right, go over to our water cooler question. Weigh in this morning. Tell us what you think the answer is. Time now for Wellness Wednesday. A program in East Texas is working to decrease the maternal and pediatric mortality rate here in East Texas. And for those littlest East Texans, the mortality rate is 2.5 times higher than the national average. This morning, Anna Calderon from the UT Tyler School of Health Professions Nurse Family Partnership Program joins us. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us more about this Nurse Family Partnership Program and what it offers East Texans.
So Nurse Family Partnership is part of the Texas Home Visiting Program that is designed to support women while they're expecting their first baby. And we connect them with a free registered nurse who provides them guidance throughout their pregnancy and after the baby's born.
Why do you think a program like this is so important for East Texas moms?
A program like this is so important because we want to change and help reduce those numbers as far as the maternal and infant mortality here in East Texas. We want to change those numbers by providing these moms the education and support and the resources that they need to have a healthier and a happier outcome, not only for mom, but both her and her babies.
And I was also reading a little bit about the program. It's not just health services that you're providing, but also some educational resources as well.
Yes, ma'am. So the nurses will get together with the mom and visit them at their home about twice a month or more if needed. And she will provide education in topics like pregnancy development, nutrition, breastfeeding, and she will also connect those moms with that resources based on their needs.
And you guys have been doing this program, so how have you seen it help moms here in East Texas?
I've seen the moms really become very independent and being able to advocate for themselves and feeling confident in being the best mom that she can be. I've seen them accomplish their goals because the nurses and the mom work together to create a care plan where they discuss that, and the nurse will help motivate her.
If East Texas moms are interested, how can people learn more about the program?
All right, if you're interested or want more information, we'd love to hear from you. You can call us at 903-877-8145. Our email is nfp@uttyler.edu, or you can visit our website at uttyler.edu/nursefamilypartnership.
Well, I appreciate you giving us this information. I know you have a class that's getting ready to celebrate their graduation soon, so good luck to them as they enjoy their life with their new baby. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Dana.
East Texas Professional Credit Union knows leading the way in Texas takes more than a Lone Star. It takes financial stability that earns A+ ratings. It takes exceptional service that receives 5-star rankings. It takes an established in Texas for Texans kind of history. It's about giving our members top priority treatment, which leads to Best of East Texas reviews. Come enjoy the 5-star experience we work hard to provide for all our members. East Texas Professional Credit Union, proudly serving East Texas for 70 years.
this Wednesday. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for sticking with us this morning.
Yeah, I'm Jesus Martinez.
And meteorologist Joel Robinson. Thanks so much for joining us on air and on CBS 19 Plus.
They call it Hump Day. We had a hump in the road this morning.
We
Getting
did.
on air with some technical challenges. I don't like to call them difficulties. There's challenges, and we worked through them this morning. That's kind of how life is.
I think we are in the mount for the
so.
most part.
We're we're going to go to the smooth sailing part this morning,
Right.
which outside it's not too terrible out there, but you said maybe some fog for some folks.
Yeah, just a couple of areas of thicker fog. We don't have any dense fog advisories out right now. Just a couple of areas of some thicker fog, so you definitely want to watch out for that. But as we take a look at temperatures in your backyard this morning, starting off a little bit on the warmer, on a warmer note here. We got some 40s and 50s, but no 30s this morning like we've been seeing the past few days. Hallsville at 44 degrees. We also have Tatum at 46, and we go further to the west. We got 55 in Lindale and also 54 in Chandler. We go further to the south, again, some 40s and 50s, some low 40s in some of our eastern locations, like Center at 42, St. Augustine at 42, and Chirino also at 42. And you go further to the west, of course, you got some 50s mixed in there. We also have some temperatures aiming for the 80s for this afternoon, so quite a change here. Overall, it's just a warmer day. We got that south wind holding on at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's ushering in some warmer and a little bit more humid air. So 80 degrees for today. A couple clouds will be a possibility. The cloud cover increases into the next few days with temperatures again in the low 80s. There's going to be a big change in our forecast coming in this weekend, and I'll show you what that looks like in your full 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Joel. Well, a deadly plane crash in Kentucky is under investigation this morning. At least 7 people were killed and several others injured when a UPS plane went down shortly after takeoff yesterday evening.
Yeah, video shows the moment the plane took off from Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport with the left wing on fire. Within seconds, that cargo flight crashed and erupted into flames. Authorities say 3 crew members were on board. Now, the explosion set multiple nearby buildings on fire. There's that video right there, including an auto parts store and petroleum recycling center. Kentucky's governor confirmed there were 38,000 gallons of fuel on board the plane, set to carry it from Kentucky to Hawaii. That crash killed multiple people.
There was no specifically hazardous cargo on board of the plane that would create an environmental issue for those around the site, but the impact and where it impacted could create those types of situations.
The crash happened where a major UPS hub is located at. The facility moves more than 400,000 packages an hour, according to UPS. The company says all sorting there will be put on hold. The National Transportation and Safety Board will lead the investigation into what went wrong.
Well, after 2 days of closures, all Jacksonville ISD campuses reopened this morning. Schools were closed during a statewide manhunt for Bobby Dennis, accused of shooting a police officer and injuring a canine. Both are expected to be okay. But take a look at your screen right now. This is 64-year-old Bobby Dennis, who police are searching for. Dennis is considered armed and dangerous with a long, violent criminal history. He was last seen in all black, possibly driving a gray 2000 GMC Sierra with Texas plates TRW 3919. Authorities are offering a $21,000 reward for information leading to his arrest.
We learned disturbing new details this morning about the triple homicide in Henderson County that left 3 family members dead and 2 others injured. Police documents reveal that 29-year-old Christopher Kyle Reed Jr. shot and killed 3 relatives and injured 2 others inside a home in Payne Springs. The records reveal one survivor, Reed's brother, told investigators he was shot in the chest after trying to check on him. He said his brother refused to help, telling him he was, quote, no longer his brother before firing several more rounds. Deputies found 3 family members dead inside the home and say Reed later drove to Ennis, crashed into a Buc-ee's, hit a woman, and then took his own life.
And in Kilgore, a former East Texas educator escapes time in prison after pleading guilty to an improper relationship with a student. A judge sentenced 34-year-old Kayla Odell of Gladewater to 10 years of deferred adjudication probation, meaning that she can avoid a formal conviction if she follows the terms set by the court. This comes months after her arrest back in February. Odell had worked as an instructional aide with Kilgore ISD from August of 2023 until January of this year.
6:33 this morning. We're continuing to follow up on the election results from last night, and in troops, voters there rejected a $22.2 million bond that would have funded major upgrades across the district.
Yeah, CBS19's Ayana Aird shows us what was on the ballot and how the community is reacting this morning.
Good morning. The $22 million Troop ISD bond would have paid for classroom additions and new facilities at both the elementary and the high school campuses. But voters said no, with 54% opposing the proposal. At the high school, plans included new science and CTE classrooms, plus a brand new gymnasium. The elementary campus would have received new classrooms and cafeteria upgrades. If approved, the bond would have raised the district's tax rate from 83 cents to $1.12 per $100 property value, the first proposed increase in 5 years.
It's just a real big need here in Troop. There's a lot of needs at the elementary and at the high school, just trying to create a better future for the kids. It's our civic duty and our right to come out here and vote and support the bond or don't support the bond. I mean, there's many other things to vote for.
Earlier this year, Superintendent Tammy Jones said she believes the students of Troop ISD are worthy of the investment for today and the future. Now, ultimately, the bond failed to pass last night, but district leaders say the need hasn't gone away. They plan to meet with the school board in the coming weeks to talk about next steps and how to move forward with the most urgent projects. Reporting in studio, I'm Ayana Aird for CBS19.
Spring Hill ISD leaders are reflecting this morning after voters said no to all 4 propositions in the district's bond election. The voter approval tax rate election and bond were meant to help fund the district's operations, facility maintenance, and future improvements for students and staff. The voter approval tax rate election would have provided more money for staff pay and classroom programs, while the bond focused on safety and building upgrades. Superintendent Penny Fleet thanked the community for showing up to the polls, saying the district respects the decision of voters and remains committed to student success. School Board President John Borns added that they'll now look for other ways to address the district's critical needs. And Spring Hill ISD says it will share more steps in the coming weeks as leaders assess how the election results impact future plans. In Nacogdoches County, voters approved a $75 million bond to build a new county jail. Sheriff Jason Bridges called the proposition a need, not a want, to solve overcrowding and improve safety. We spoke to Sheriff Bridges as he learned voters overwhelmingly voted yes for this proposal. Now, that proposed jail would nearly double capacity, add medical and mental health space, and reduce the cost of housing inmates out of county.
It's, I just hope that a lot of people came out and voted because that's what we wanted. We wanted to hear from the people, and that's the reason we did this and put it on for a bond election, because we wanted our citizens to vote for it. And, as I explained earlier, the impact, the input that we got back from the majority of our citizens that we have spoken to, I've heard very little negativity out in the community about it. And again, the ones that did express their concerns over the price, and I certainly understand that.
The proposed jail would nearly double capacity, add medical and mental health space, and reduce the cost of housing inmates out of county. Again, that proposition in Nacogdoches County for the jail did pass. All 17 constitutional amendments on the ballot passed with majority support Tuesday night, meaning there were no close calls. Now, most of these amendments focus on preventing new taxes, while others create new state funds for things like water infrastructure and dementia research. Jesus Martinez is giving us a closer look at what these results mean for Texans. Jesus.
Yeah, Dana, Proposition 7, 10, and 11 saw the strongest voter support last night. 7 actually gives property tax breaks to surviving spouses of U.S. veterans who died in service if they haven't remarried. Now, Proposition 10, that is, temporarily lowers property taxes for homes destroyed by a fire. Meanwhile, Proposition 11 raises the homestead exemption for the portion of a home's value shielded from school taxes for the elderly and disabled Texans. Now, the closest race last night on all of these propositions was Prop 6, which bans new taxes on securities, that is, transactions such as stock trading. It passed with about 58% of the vote. Nonetheless, it did pass. Another relatively close one was Proposition 17. This one would allow the state to prevent property values from increasing in counties with border security infrastructure. Now, that measure passed with about 61% of the vote. The other most notable one, which we talked about earlier, was Proposition 4. It would allocate about $1 billion every year in existing sales tax revenue starting in 2027 to help fund about $20 billion in water projects over the next 2 decades in Texas. Of course, we'll be talking a lot more about this in the coming years. Dana.
All right, thank you so much, Jesus. It was an election night sweep for Democrats in New York City. Zohran Mamdani, a 34-year-old Democrat socialist, is set to become the Big Apple's first Muslim mayor. And in New Jersey, voters propelled Democratic Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill to the governorship after a tight race. And former Democratic Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger is projected to become the Commonwealth's first woman governor. And on the other side of the country, California voters overwhelmingly approved Governor Gavin Newsom's Prop 50, a plan to temporarily redraw the state's congressional map to favor Democrats, a response to efforts by Republicans in Texas and other red states at the request of President Trump.
I think this vote, even though it's a local election, could have major impacts on how the two major parties have control across the country.
On social media, President Trump said pollsters blamed the GOP losses in part on the history-making government shutdown and posted a cryptic message saying, "And so it begins." President Trump also called on Senate Republicans to change the rules in order to push through voter reform and his other agenda priorities. All right, if you're getting ready to head out this morning, be careful. There may be a little bit of fog out there. Joel?
Yeah, there's a couple of areas of very thick fog that you'll definitely have to watch out for, and I'll show you in your current visibilities coming up here. But vehicle traffic just fine this morning on I-20. If you're heading westbound to Dallas, it's going to be about a 2-hour commute there and an hour and 30 minutes eastbound over to Shreveport. And as for US 69, looking just fine. We got 2.5 hours up to Denison and an hour and 30 minutes down to Lufkin. So very smooth sailing there. Some of the other routes starting to pick up just a little bit. 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview, 55 minutes at this point from Tyler to Palestine. And if you're going from Tyler to Athens, that's a 45-minute commute for you this morning. CBS 19 live radar all clear in the skies, but near the surface, however, we got 2 to 3 mile visibilities across some parts of the area in Henderson, Carthage, even Lufkin, down to 3.25 mile visibility. So you'll definitely want to watch out for that. I do expect that the fog will at least last until 9 o'clock this morning. So I'm giving you yellow lights all the way until then. And for this afternoon, nice and clear, a couple of clouds, temperatures in the low 80s.
Thank you, Joel. Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year. After the break, how One East Texas is helping you get into the holiday spirit. The One Spot Shop. You're not going to want to miss this. Coming up after the break.
All right, and it's time to answer today's water cooler question. Let's remind you of that question one more time. 7% of people say they've tried this and failed miserably. Not just failed, failed miserably.
Wow.
All right, the answer? Whistling loudly.
Oh, doing the...
Oh, I can't do that.
I can't either. I can...
That's pretty. It's a pretty whistle. But I can't do that.
There's that one.
There's that whistle.
Yeah, this one.
I've never learned how to do that.
Yeah, that one's a tough one.
All right, well, by participating in this week's water cooler question, you'll be entered to win in our weekly prize. It is this 3-gallon water dispenser with now 30 days of free refills from H2Go Solutions. Stay hydrated, y'all. Come on.
We'll be right back. Here's an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
I'm down. All right, let's do it. Thanks for all your hard work back there. I know this morning was crazy. Good morning, everybody. Expect temperatures a little bit on the warmer side for today, and for the next several days, we can expect temperatures in the low 80s. We'll have a little bit of cloud cover for a change, especially going into Thursday and Friday with some partly cloudy skies. A big cold front, the biggest of the season so far, will be moving in. Saturday into Sunday, we can see temperatures as high, or as low, I should say, for daytime highs in the upper 50s. Take two. All right, let's do it. Anyway. That's right. Good morning, everybody. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast, a very warm one as we head into the rest of this week. Temperatures in the low 80s, partly cloudy skies for a change on Thursday and Friday, and then transitioning into mostly sunny and even sunny altogether as a cold front makes its way through Saturday into Sunday, dropping our temperatures from the 80s down to the 60s and even upper 50s possible by your Monday.
A button. Okay. I thought it was like a press button and it plays something.
Oh, well, if I
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's get into your forecast for today. The next big thing that we're tracking is our biggest cold front of the season. That's going to be moving into this weekend. Let's show you what we got here. In the meantime, we still got high pressure in control over the southern parts of the country. That's keeping us warm and, of course, keeping us dry. But as we continue on through the rest of this week, we got that cold Canadian air finally making its way further to the south. We got couple of cold fronts here, even another, we call this a mid-latitude cyclone coming across the northern plains, even got some snow out of that as well. That'll move across the northern plains and even into the Great Lakes. Not expecting any snow here in East Texas, but certainly some cooler temperatures as we go forward. Now by Saturday, early Saturday, we are expecting this to become a stationary front, which basically means it's not going to be moving at all. So it'll have a little bit of a rough time making its way further to the south, but by Saturday afternoon, we'll finally get a little bit of strength back in this cold front to finally push its way all the way down into East Texas, and that's where the cooler temperatures will be coming into play. Now, over the next 6 to 10 days, roughly around to after the time the cold front comes through, we are expecting temperatures to return to average, which at this point, November 11th through November 15th, it is expected to be in the upper 60s to low 70s. Meanwhile, you look to the east, we got some below average temperatures likely and above average temperatures off to the west. That's a big trough of low pressure in our upper levels. It's really going to drop our temperatures quite a bit. And also in the meantime, still expecting the precipitation within that time frame to be below average as well. And as we take a look at temperatures closer to the surface here, a little bit warmer of a start for this morning, upper 40s to low 50s. And then by this afternoon, we'll make a run for the 80s. You can see that south wind carrying up some warm and slightly more moist air. We got a little bit more humidity that we're going to be watching for into this afternoon. Upper 50s to even low 60s for the start of your Thursday. So a little bit warmer of a start for your Thursday, and also going to be very similar in the afternoon. We're expecting temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. That south wind keeps holding on. We got temperatures starting out on Friday in the upper 60s, potentially in some locations, and then for the afternoon, expecting temperatures in the low to mid 80s and staying very dry in the process here. Over the next 10 days, again, our average now is 71. That's, of course, going to be changing over the next several days. We could potentially see highs after that big cold front comes through on Sunday into Monday, as low as 63, even 59 degrees by Monday. And then we will be bouncing back into the middle to upper 70s for the second half of the week, but a big change in the weather nonetheless here. You can see the humidity going up just a little bit, not too much. It's not enough to really make you uncomfortable, but you can see that huge drop in that humidity here. That is from that cold front. Here it is in our upper level. Snow going to be a possibility over the Great Lakes. Not really going to be a possibility here in East Texas, but certainly we'll get a dose of that cooler air. As you can see in our 7-day forecast here, 80s all the way through the end of this week. And then that cold front comes through. We could see highs in the upper 50s to low 60s.
All right, Joel, thanks so much. Sing it with me. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yeah, you don't want me singing, but hey, let's talk about Christmas, right? The holiday season officially gets underway in Gladewater this weekend. It's never too early, right? There's so much to do, so much to see, from a tree lighting and festivities and fun all over for the entire family. Lois Reed from the Gladewater Chamber of Commerce joins us live this morning to talk all about it, and you're already in the holiday spirit.
I am in the spirit. We have been decorating for the past 2 days. And so by Saturday, we're going to have a winter wonderland.
That is amazing. Like I said, it's never too early to celebrate, right?
Oh, no.
As soon as November 1st hits, right?
Yes.
We're on for Christmas. All right, so tell us about this open house.
Well, the holiday open house started back in the 1990s. You know, we are the antique capital of East Texas.
Might as well be the Christmas capital of Texas.
Oh, we would like that destination also. But some of our store owners thought that they would like to welcome their customers in, and so they started staying open late, and then they also would serve little snacks. And so as the event has evolved and grown, now 35 years later, we have food trucks, we have carriage rides, we have the tree lighting at exactly 6 p.m.
No later.
No later,
no
not
earlier.
1 minute later. And we usually select a young person from the crowd. Last year when we lit our tree, at the exact moment the lights came on, it's a 24-foot tree. Did I mention that? It started snowing right downtown Gladewater.
Right on cue.
Oh, the children were going crazy.
You know what we call that? A Christmas miracle.
It is a Christmas miracle.
So what does this benefit? Who does it benefit, and why is it so important for Gladewater?
It is important to Gladewater because it's our way of thanking people who shop with us all year long. It's also benefits the people who own the shops. I'm a big proponent of small business. Yeah. And so each of our shops it could be a husband and wife, it could be a widow, it could be a young entrepreneur just starting out. And so we want to show our support for them. It is a free event.
There we go.
If you go to the food trucks. Now, I'm not going to treat you to dinner.
Not even me?
Well, you come on.
I'll
treat you to dinner.
I got myself a little date this weekend.
Yes.
So talk about the times and events this weekend. Is it just on Saturday, and the times as well?
It is just on Saturday. It's from 5 to 7:30. Our shops will remain open. Now, they'll be open all day, but they will remain open later. As we mentioned, the tree will be lit at 6 o'clock. DJ Randy is going to be playing Christmas music. He plays games with the children.
There we go.
In fact, we have a children's area right under the pavilion. It's usually manned by our fire department. And the chamber has hot chocolate, free of course, to our visitors. And you never know who you may see helping you with the hot chocolate. It could be the mayor. It could be city council people.
Or it could be Miss Lois Reed herself.
Oh, it could be. And now I have put in a request. It's the Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
That Santa, if at all possible, he just come in for a brief visit.
Just a little bit. A little visit.
So I've got my fingers crossed.
There
the
we go.
weather looks perfect for him to come in.
It's a win-win all around. And I heard Santa likes candy canes too.
Oh, yes. And I brought y'all candy canes.
That's awesome. We're going to share it all around here in the newsroom. You guys can look at the candy canes. I'll eat them this morning, though. Thank you so much, Lois, for joining us this morning. We'll have all this information on our website, CBS19.tv, and hope to see you this weekend.
Thank you.
Of course. We'll be right back.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. 5:56 this morning. News before I head out the door. Voters have rejected Troop ISD's $22 million bond, which would have funded new classrooms, science and CTE labs, a gym at the high school, and upgrades at the elementary campus. The bond would have raised the tax rate from 83 cents to $1.12 per $100 of property value. District leaders say the need is still real and urgent. Superintendent Tammy Jones says students deserve the investment, and officials plan to meet with the school board soon to talk about the next steps.
And voters have approved a $75 million bond to replace Nacogdoches County's 35-year-old jail. The new facility will nearly double capacity to about 570 beds and include medical and mental health units to improve safety and efficiency. Officials say construction could begin in 2026 once designs are finalized and bonds are sold, with a focus on long-term growth and keeping the community safe. Let's get a final check of your weather on this Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll take one more look at that 7-day forecast. It's a very warm one into the next several days. We got 80s all the way through Saturday, and then our biggest cold front of the season will be moving in Saturday evening. Put our highs in the upper 50s, even low 60s by Sunday and Monday. How about that?
You know what that 7 days doing?
What is it doing?
A little bit of this.
It's doing a little bit of
roller coaster.
It's a little wobbly there.
Right.
It is wobbly and wavy, but we'll handle it.
We'll
just
handle
like
it.
we did today and just like you did, sticking with us through our technical challenges.
That's right. Thank you so much for staying with us this morning. We'll be back. We will be back.
We'll be back.
We'll be back on the noon show later on today. Have a great morning. We'll see you dark and early tomorrow.